of time because of information being given out. So certainly now what you want to see is passages of play. Let us see if Babonneau can, find their way. Let us see if Miku themselves can bring in some passages of play as well. But in the meantime, we have a corner in favor of Babonneau. One coming across, not even beating the first pole, but there's a little chance, a little slip here, and there's a foul, so the ball goes in favor, going up in next direction in favor of the Miku team. But Eli, certainly instructions have been given because I would think that both teams, despite the 3 points for Miku and the 0 points for 3 points for Babonneau and the 0 points for Miku,
One for Miku.
one for Miku, sorry, that's true, they got a draw. So definitely something has to give in this encounter.
Yeah, well, neither side would feel that another draw or a draw would be healthy for either of them if they are going to get anywhere close to the top two positions in Tier 2, which would earn them promotion to Tier 1, which is where the big bucks are at. As we see them sort of starting to try to jostle for early position there. Another foul.
Interesting as well, we have a female official. Of course, ladies are making their mark in football. So it should be interesting to see how she handles this sort of a matchup. Not feisty just yet, but eventually we will see what the official is made of because, as anything else, they come under the camera as well, Eli. But so far, I don't think we have much to complain about with the officials.
Yeah, it's been pretty good from the officials. As a matter of fact, I happened to see one of them earlier today, and I had a little chat with him because I feel that they've been doing an excellent job, particularly in terms of communication with players. Very often you see officials have the disposition of, I'm in charge, I'm the boss, you do as I say. But we've seen a lot of interaction with the officials and the players. More often than not, the officials seeking to provide explanations as to why they've made certain calls. And I think that just augurs, well for the sport. It gives players much needed insight as to how the officials see play and how they have to conduct themselves if they want to be on the right side of the law, so to speak.
So thus far, we've graded the officials grade A. Normally there's who have A minus and A plus. So we leave it at A for now, and let's see how the season progresses. But meantime, on field possession in favor of the Miku team with a really nice uniform. I think it really illustrates St. Lucia to a certain extent.
Correct.
And very, very impressive. But still not able to pass that ball and reach a final footage. I can see both teams, like you mentioned, jostling the way. Passes will come into play. But we need to see a little more patience with that football. We always talk about patience with the football. The game is still in its infant stage. So certainly, let's see how the teams can recycle that football. They have a sort of a slick surface as well because there was some rainfall before play. So all this is going to come into play as well. But let us see if teams can show a little more patience with the football rather than making that killer pass from within their own half.
Yeah, a little bit of a heavy downpour a little earlier on. People looking on via the stream, and let me say good evening to our viewers via the YouTube stream. You would realize on the track surrounding the pitch, you can still see some evidence of the rain activity earlier on, which would or should make for an interesting encounter. But critic, my thinking is these teams could have two modes of thought. Either be very cautious in this encounter because they don't want to lose more points, or come out with all guns blazing because they feel like they need the 3 points. How do you think they're going to approach this game?
I'm thinking for Babonneau already have the 3 points, and what I've seen is they're sort of having a situation, sort of like a mid-range block. So basically, they want to manage those 90 minutes and not overextend themselves to a certain extent in the first half. So they're probably going to play a little cautious because they know probably the firepower that the Miku team can possess. So basically, they're going to keep it within a certain mid-range. And as the game progresses, probably like about, say, the 55 minutes, 65th minute, thereabout, you might then see them now trying to impose themselves within the half of Miku. Miku, on the other hand, now, they are more desperate. So I think based upon their lineup and their layout, especially Posh. Posh is a tactical guy. Posh would want to come off the blocks as soon as possible. Because if you realize in the early part of the game, Miku was already, trying to force errors from the back line of the Babonneau team. So I'm expecting a more attack from Miku, whilst the Babonneau team sort of keep it mid-range.
Well, definitely from a historical standpoint, Miku might feel that they need to be the team on the front foot. They would have most recently won the inter-district tournament 2016, 2017, and the Blackout tournament in 2015. So they definitely are the team with with the greater history between the two outfits. And that in itself might apply some pressure on them because their fan base would definitely be expecting them to be able to come out with 3 points from this encounter. But as we've seen so far, it's sort of been start, stop, start, stop. There's been no goal mouth action thus far, and we are just about 7 minutes into this encounter. So let's wait and see how this one plays out.
Certainly so. Again, I can still, from our vantage point, you can still see information being sent out to players on both ends. Probably they might just want to tweak the attack or tweak the formation a bit. But like you mentioned, I don't expect them to go all out, but they might be mindful of what it is. If we have a little situation, a little equipment failure or a little equipment checked by the officials, so we can see some equipment going, some change of batteries or something of the sort. Anyhow, they'll sort it out. But on field action in terms of the teams, I've been a little bit impressed with Babon. What I would love to see with Babon a little more, Eli, is just to show a little more patience when they get probably to the middle part of the field and put in that last pass. I mean, they make good progress within their half, but I would love to see them show a little more patience so you have more persons in the attack in the final third.
Yeah, and the match is back underway at this point in time, and BABONNEAU, they're kicking left to right. Again, just a pass more in hope than expectation, and conceding possession to the Miku outfit. So far, I would say Miku probably looking the team that is a little bit more composed on the ball and trying to string some passes together, which kind of probably underscores what we were saying about the two outfits and how they may just approach this encounter. Nothing to write home about going on in the match right now.
I think if you the team who dominates midfield will clearly get the better of the encounter. And like you mentioned, we can see some more imposing figures in midfield for Miku. Is how the Babonneau team is going to approach and see how they're going to get through that maze in midfield. Because basically, when you have the control of the midfield, it kind of steers the tempo of the game in your direction. But meantime, we have not seen either of those two sort of dominate per se. But clearly, you can see everything will stem from the midfield.
Yeah, and even when BABONNEAU, they sort of attempt to string a couple of passes together, as we see the Miku team just seems to be able to just break up the play. So BABONNEAU, they now have a free kick in Miku's half of the field, and probably looking to see if they can lump that one into the box area and get the first set of goal mouth action or 18-yard or penalty box action for the evening, because we've not seen the ball go into the penalty box at all just yet.
Mm-hmm. Let us see the range and where they're going to drop this free kick. Signals being sent by the kicker. So it's upon this one, very interesting. There's a little more purchase on this one, and who knows, you could have probably just another cross and get a little shot on, and the goalkeeper could have probably made a save, but nothing comes out of it. Meantime, you see the Miku team playing from the back. That ball goes into midfield, and of course, he's going to go to searching for another pass, try to mount that attack on the left hand side. Here's a through ball for the striker. Here you have the Miku team going forward now. And basically, very, very team, Eli. My favorite line, milk for the cat for the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper don't even have to make a save. Basically, just putting that ball within his area and just collecting very easily. But again, you could see the intent of the Miku team. Through ball, getting through the lines, and the attacker should have done better. At least have the goalkeeper make a more telling save, getting a more velocity on this one. But now we see BABONNEAU trying to mount an attack themselves, another football, not able to lash onto it. The goalkeeper just cleaning up or mopping up, and possession is in favor of Miku. Meantime, they choose to punt this one and not play from the back this time. And they are mounting an attack on the right side, trying to find his man within. Sort of a fall right there, sort of just hitting from the legs there. So it's a foul and it's a free kick in favor now of the MICOUD team. MICOUD, again, like I mentioned, very impressive with the colors. The flag colors certainly impressive. As a matter of fact, if you look at the St. Lucia Semi-Pro League T-shirts or even the polo shirts that we wear, Eli, almost similar color if so certainly making a statement with their kit.
And they now have a free kick in their attacking field, looking to get into the box for the second time. Just a while ago, we saw the first foray into the box by the left-sided attacker for Miku. For team effort, this time a ball lumped in a good position.
Mm.
The attacking player unable to get his head to that one.
It wasn't bad as a matter of fact. I think what has happened, the attacker probably didn't read what was going. Here we have a situation. That should be a foul, and the centre back for the Miku team certainly missing that ball. And when the attacker got onto it from BABONNEAU, it was a foul situation. But I see him throwing out gestures at his teammates as for what's going on. But he should really put that concentration on what we're going to do to see if we can move ahead in this encounter. So let's see what they're going to set up with. There are about two players behind the ball, Eli. They're going to have a conversation as to who's going to take this kick. Meantime, the guys are going to set up in the box area. So can we see something being fruitful out of this free kick, Eli?
Well, the proximity here warrants two actions, maybe a shot on goal or a ball lofted into the box in a dangerous area. We've made note previously that both or all the teams that we have seen thus far in this tournament seem to prefer lumping the ball to the back stick and trying to get that ball back for the second ball back into a dangerous area. So are we going to see that, or are we going to see a direct attempt on goal from BABONNEAU as they've really come close to the box? A little something, trying to be a little creative there.
Yeah, you talk about a little guile on that free kick there, but again, the attacker not reading what the kicker was doing, but you could see that they're trying something probably they did it midweek or in training, and they're now trying to employ it in game play. Then we have a situation where Adi George got a yellow card earlier, just a little earlier in the encounter. Again, it remains to be seen that players are putting in the tackles because football is a contact sport, and you have this situation. Eli, these days fouls are so, I wouldn't say petty, but as much as it's a contact sport, but fouls certainly have changed. What would have just probably breezed by now, basically now, if you make any sort of contact, or it's always going to result in a card situation. So I'm not surprised that the card has been dished out so early in the encounter.
Well, it was definitely a yellow card offense. A missed kick by the defender, allowing the attacking player to get on behind him, and he probably felt that he needed to do something to recover that error, but that definitely would have resulted in a yellow card. So the official, rightfully so, for producing that yellow card in that scenario there.
Yeah, we see a misplaced pass there by BABONNEAU, trying to send the winger through. Ball goes out of touch, and it's a goal kick for the Miku team. But so far, it seems that the buzz of the action, Eli, has been in the half of the Miku team, despite no team basically getting a strong hold in the game so far. But the game has been certainly been played in the half of the Miku team. There's a foul right there, a little overzealous in his attempt. And again, you see the player trying to argue with the official. Basically, just move on from that because the whistle is already blown. He's not going to change it. She's not going to change her decision. So just you group, you fall back into place, and you get on with the game.
And we did mention it's a female official this evening, so we must mention her name. It's Alpina Faswa. She's at the center in charge of the responsibility of refereeing this match. So far, she's been on point, if you ask me, with her calls, trying to allow the game to flow just a little bit. But this, by no stretch of the imagination, is a feisty encounter as far as we see Miku taking that kick from the back, unable to control that. And again, BABONNEAU sort of lumping it forward a little bit. But they have a little bit of control now. But again, in an attempt to make a pass into a telling area, unable to muster anything up from it. And BABONNEAU now in a sort of dangerous position and a strike there at the edge of the box. Not bearing any fruit, but some good movement by BABONNEAU in that little build-up there. They
And
were able to win the ball and string a couple of passes together and eventually get a shot off.
that's what you want. And if you have possession in the key areas, you want players moving to spaces, thereby throwing off the defense of the MICOUD team. And number 19 clearly had his eyes set on having that shot. Once he got past his man and got a little clearance, he put in a shot. So it's very good to see young players taking the initiative. Meantime, we have possession to the left side of the MICOUD team. However, that pass into the box area was not properly hit. So sort of a bad pass there. So possession remains with MICOUD. Let's see, they're going to continue and move on to the right side. And good build up. Takes on his defender, try to get a ball across. And it's another effort. That ball should have a little more pace on it. And player, he probably could have even controlled that football as well. He had enough time to put that ball down and get something or get a little more something from it. But he was unable to do it. Meantime, possession, Eli goes on to BABONNEAU. BABONNEAU playing in the black outfit if you just join us. And that would make MICOUD in the flag colors or St. Lucia colors, if you want to say that. But good playing from the back. I realize that majority of teams in the SPL, whether it be tier 1 or tier 2, Eli, can play the football within their half. And the situation is, is continuing and having the patience in the build-up. But we see a cross ball coming there, but however, not being able to find his man on the left side and possession
Back to
back
MICOUD.
to MICOUD team, yeah.
Well, a minute ago, I felt that was a decent enough opportunity for MICOUD. The attacker unable to steer his header in a dangerous enough position. He was slightly outside of the right upright or the left upright of the goalkeeper, but I felt it was an opportunity nonetheless. So far, we've probably seen MICOUD with a couple of telling actions within the penalty area and BABONNEAU having that one opportunity thus far. So the teams are sort of starting to settle down and trying to find their way in this encounter. As we indicated, 3 points on offer for both teams, 3 points important for both teams as they try to claw their way up the SPFL Tier 2 ladder.
Yes, indeed. You have offside situation there by the MICOUD attacker. And they also have to be mindful of the situation. What is at stake? Where are we on the table? What we need? What are our objectives? So basically, you have a situation where teams now, based upon the point standings on the table, have to sort of create a map as per how we're going to continue with our development. How we're going to make our way up the table. There's a searching ball. Goalkeeper comes out, and good clearance right there, possession in favor of the MICOUD team. So what I was saying, Eli, when you look at the table, I don't know, they just strike from about what 70 yards out. Goalkeeper just collecting this one. He does similar and goes long a field searching for the winger. So I was just saying now, like you mentioned, based on the positions of the teams on the table, they now have a clearer path of what they need to do and which teams that they can take points from, or which teams they figure might be the stronger opponent and what they need to do to move on to move up the table of tier 2.
Well, when it comes to Tier 2, it's about ambition, if you ask me. You can't get any lower than Tier 2. You cannot get relegated into Tier 3. So teams have to feel that they cannot be, it cannot be enough just to be in the
Tier
league.
2, yeah.
You need to have that ambition to want to put yourself in a position to gain promotion, and of course, not just gain promotion, but stay in Tier 1. So definitely you want to see teams honing their craft and continuing to improve on their craft. It's a league format, 9 teams in Tier 2, so 8 league matches, and each of these teams haven't played 2 matches. They have 6 matches to sort of steer the ship in the right direction. As we see a little bit of a miskick there from the goalkeeper, but the attacker from MICOUD unable to keep hold of the possession, and BABONNEAU again now on the ball, playing it out from the back, and again trying to probe the MICOUD team and see how they can make some inroads as we are just 21 minutes into the first half of this encounter.
Yeah, again, I mentioned earlier how those teams are able to keep the football and show possession within their half. However, they lose a little patience in getting out. So what we want to see is that we want to see midfielders come in to receive that football from the defenders rather than having the defenders throw in long punting passes, which is not of a high degree, like. So what you want to see the CDM or the attacking midfielder just drop back a bit to assist the defense in bringing that ball out and moving it further upfield. Both teams seem to have that issue where they can get out, but get to the center of the field and then look to throw in a long pass because there's no aid in having a midfielder near you to carry on with passing that football.
Yeah, I just feel a little bit of urgency is also lacking on the part of both teams. Um, as we indicated earlier, maybe Miku, you would expect them to have a more attacking sort of approach to the game. And I sort of saw a couple of shades of that in the early throes of the match. But as soon as BABONNEAU looked dangerous for 1 second, you kind of saw that just wither away. And they've sort of into the mold of being cautious again, which is how the match actually started off with two cautious teams, you know. So hopefully we can see some more impetus put back into the Miku team. You can definitely see that BABONNEAU, they are settling in. They are actually now, their central defenders are actually now all the way up to the halfway line. And that ball lumped into the penalty area, cleared by Miku. And now they're looking to go on to the counter attack. That ball played back into the center. Another ball over the top. That looks like a good ball to chase. And the attacker from Miku is on there, trying to take on his man.
The ball comes back to the right side. It seems that we're looking for. I can see the official flag is up, so we might have a situation where it probably is a handball and a free kick closer to the area. It seems that the Miku team attack stems from the right side because it was a situation where the winger brought the ball back into the middle, and I would think that he probably switched or put it into the box area. However, he went back onto the right side, and now they are awarded a free kick. So it should be a left footer. It looks like an in swinger. Let us see if they can, create some situation where they can get a header or create a save opportunity or a chance on goal.
I even thought that whistle came a little too early, critic, because despite the fact that there was a handball, the ball actually fell to the feet of one of the Miku players inside the 6-yard box. But the ball comes across now. Another missed kick here. A little bit of skill there by the Miku player. A very tight angle. He should have probably cut that ball back into the center and looking for one of his players to see if they can get a tap in. But it looks like he tried to get on goal there. And we have a foul there. That might just be another yellow card coming. And it is.
Yeah, the winger taking on his man from within his own area. And this is what we want to see. We want to see young persons taking on and bring the challenge onto the defenders. And he continued. He was very persistent in his running. Good running, good skill there. And of course, having that ball ahead of the defender and putting himself between the defender having no choice but to foul his opponent. And now we have a situation where we're going to have another free kick for BABONNEAU. But interesting wing play there by BABONNEAU. Let us see if they can result again in a situation where they can get a chance and put one past Miku.
That looks like Shaquan Mati
Yellow
of
card.
BABONNEAU with the yellow card there.
Shaquan Mati from Miku.
From Miku, sorry, yeah.
But good attacking skills. To fend off the defender and carry that ball all the way near the box area. So now let's see if they can be rewarded for the efforts.
Mati, that we just spoke about, is just 21 years old, but he has been an inter-district and Blackheart winner with Miku. So he would have probably done that when he was in his teens, early 15, 16, that sort of age thereabout. So despite the fact that he's a young chap, he's definitely had a little bit of experience under his belt, but it didn't show there as he brought the BABONNEAU player down very close to his area. The goalkeeper for Miku there, just punching that one out clear, and BABONNEAU winning the ball back as Miku tried to go on the counter attack. You just get the sense that BABONNEAU are really settling into this encounter right now and sort of taking a little bit of a grip on the proceedings.
Yes, indeed. They seem to be a better passing team to a certain extent than the Miku team. They're looking to exploit cross passes as well, some big switches as well. So they're trying to get on to interference in the game, Eli. Also with their free kicks. I'd love to see a little more zip in those free kicks rather than just loft it in the area. So a little more zip where you can get your big defenders or your big central players onto it. Here's another
That's
free
a
kick for
much
them.
better one. And an
There you
attempt
have it.
there.
There you go, Eli. Exactly. And again,
Goalkeeper may have even injured himself on that.
you see this free kick had a little more zip onto it, and now the attacker, had he taken it properly, could have created a situation as well. So you're gonna get a corner out of it against a free kick situation. Let us see they're gonna put more impetus onto it. But when you fizz those balls around the area, Eli, trust me, it's always gonna be create mayhem in the back line for Amico.
Well, we normally hear the saying of the commentator's curse. I think you're changing that. I think you're reversing that. I think with you, it's the commentator's fortune. More often than not, when you make mention of something, it shortly after
It happens.
materializes in the game. Another decent ball in by Babonneau, but unable to really do anything about that. Still, Miku are just unable to get out right now.
However, they were able to get an outlet time on the right side. We
Now an
mentioned on the right
outlet,
side. Now
yes.
they're going to create that switching area. Can he control and make amends for it? However, good defensive recovery there by the Babonneau team. Again, the players need to be, show us a little more vigor. I mean, this is a good switch ball, but he clearly was a little timid in his approach and how he could have get onto this ball there by creating recovery for Miku. Miku on the left side this time trying to go across. Milk for the cat. Goalkeeper just takes this one in, of course, in possession remains for Babonneau. Plays it on the left side. And it looks upfield, looks in the middle. And basically, you have to do is just keep that ball. However, they were able to, they lost it in the area. Possession now to Miku. Can Miku now make something out of it? A shot from outside, and the goalkeeper collects.
Team effort. I've noticed something about the artificial surfaces, though, Critic. I don't know if you've made notice of that. Balls that are traveling in the air that have any sort of backspin on them, when they hit the surface, the bounce tends to be a little unpredictable, where you would anticipate that a ball knocked forward would continue on its forward trajectory. Sometimes that ball slows down significantly. Last evening I also saw a ball bounce and almost completely reverse its trajectory, which is not what you would get on a regular grass surface. Yes, the ball may slow down because of the rotation and the backspin on it, but it would generally continue in its forward motion. And we kind of saw a little bit of that with the switch, where when that ball bounced, where he expected the ball to go was not where it went. So the players still, those who are not really used to playing on this artificial surface, they still need to do some acclimatizing in terms of that.
Yeah, good observation, Eli. As a matter of fact, you have to adjust your game when you come onto the artificial surface. So it takes a little time into what's happening, but a very good observation. So as the league continues playing on all those various artificial surfaces, they will get a full sense of where that ball will or supposed to fall in the line. But very good observation.
You seen me who again, trying to probe off of their left flank. Nothing is happening there, so the ball played back to the central defender who does well. Does pretty well to get himself a little out of trouble there and get Miku into a dangerous position. But that ball again cut out by the Babonneau outfit, who have cleared their lines now. And the ball played into touch by the captain of the Miku team.
Clearly now you can see the teams have settled down. The nervous energy certainly gone now, so we can see a better passing between the two teams, better inclination of what they're trying to do. Both teams seems to me trying to go through the wing and putting that ball across, while sometimes you get the over top ball, which is very much interesting. But Miku have a tree at the back in the captain. That's going to be very difficult to put that ball above. But a good pass can certainly work out. But now the teams have settled, and we've seen a better passing between the two.
Well, something interesting about the captain of Miku. His name is Barry Justin. He's 36 years old, so quite a bit of experience. But His exploits include being a former national sprinter and a FIFA referee. So he out of the Miku players might probably have a pretty good appreciation in terms of what the referees are looking for in these games and how to set up his team accordingly.
Definitely so. I think he's been around the block, and that is why I see him communicating very effectively with his backline, trying to put them in a lot of positions and basically not wanting to foul in certain instances close to the area. So definitely, with such experience and the speed of a sprinter, he should continue to organize his back. And you can see him right now still showing instructions with his hand gestures that guys relax. So good communication. Meantime,
Wow.
attack on the right side there by Miku. Ball comes across. However, the attacker already in there should have basically timed this one, and Babono recovers.
The left back for Barman almost looked like he was put in reverse there. A simple tap of the ball around him, and the Miku attacker went right around him pretty quickly, and the ball put into the box. But that cross was more hitting hope than expectation. It didn't look like he was trying to pick anybody out, but merely just trying to put the ball into a dangerous
In
area.
dangerous area, you're correct. Misplaced pass right there. There's a foul situation. I can see the referee taking a time about it. And that ball should go in favor of Babono. I mentioned in a person match day one, Babono getting the better of Marshall 1-0 very late in the encounter. We have also seen where the Miku team go down to VF4 North, and they have 1 point as well. So teams have played themselves in the semi-pro league in tier 2, and they're getting accustomed to what it is. Teams, I think every team has played, every team knows the strengths and weaknesses of the various teams. It's just a matter of putting those passes together, Eli, and making it tell. Meantime, possession, midfield for Miku, number 14, of course, go across to the center back, goes on to the right back, and looks upfield and says, what's available. Throws a searching pass in the box area. That's going to be easily dealt with by the defender. And his possession in favor of Miku again. Miku trying to go across with that pass, very bad pass, but the possession now goes on to Miku, misplaced but not controlled. So then the teams are still. I would want to see those teams, Eli, keep the football, keep it, and draw out the opposition. What you want to see basically, Eli, is to have Miku have the football and try to draw Babono out of the comfort zone, creating space so that their attackers can get onto, and similar to when Babono has a football as well, to keep that football, recycle it, and draw out players from their position. This is how you create space in football. But we still see players trying to force some passes and thereby forcing them into bad passes.
Yeah, we see the parliamentary representative from Miku, Jeremiah Norbert, making an entrance. He's pretty much been at all of his team's game. He has two teams in the
Tier 2.
competition in Tier 2. As a matter of fact, that's where Miku would have gotten their 1 point against their counterparts.
So no love lost.
No love lost. He didn't have to wipe anybody's tears, and he didn't have to celebrate with one side over the other. And the blessing for him is they only play once.
Yeah,
So he's got that out of the way. But he's definitely been one of the parliamentary representatives we've seen showing more support for his teams. I think just recently at one of the fixtures in Delhi. As a matter of fact, I think it was in that very same fixture, presenting checks of $7,500 to each of his teams. That being Miku and Monrepo. So always good to see that level of involvement from the parliamentary representatives, just instilling a little bit more confidence in the teams that they have not just the support of the SPFL and the community, but also their parliamentary reps.
that's a big statement, That's a massive statement. I think also, we often speak of, money and whatever. As anything else, it adds also motivation, also preparation for the youngsters as well, knowing that they're trying to build towards something, and of course that something would be, interested in the community as well. So it's always well and good when the parliamentary reps come and show their face, but not only show, but show interest in ensure that the team can get some money, and of course thereby help them to slide on in the competition. Because it's the first for everybody, especially in the semi-perform competition. We have a free kick situation.
Right on the edge of the box. A dangerous scenario there for Miku. They need to get this right just as BABONNEAU need to get it right. Oh,
Not
just
a bad
about a
attempt.
foot over the crossbar. Again, we've seen them use that technique in the free kick where the first person is more of a decoy, trying to see if they can probably get the wall to move or get the goalkeeper to start going in one direction, and then the other person is the one who actually takes the kick. This time, didn't work out. Just about a foot over the crossbar, but if that one had been a little bit lower, it might have asked some serious questions of the goalkeeper.
Most definitely. Also, Eli, I don't know, but if I was the one in his position taking that free kick, I would have strike on goal because I don't think anybody has really tested either goalkeeper as yet. I mean, it's cold out there. It's a little humid. I know they have their gloves and everything else, but you never know, Eli. If you put a shot on target, you just never know. I would have probably just test the goalkeeper and see what he's really made of. But nonetheless, it was a good attempt, and the game continues. We have a free kick in favor of the BABONNEAU team, plays onto the left side. Ball comes onto the middle. The midfielder looks upfield. Also, sort of like an interception with a foul on him as well. So the ball remains with the BABONNEAU team. But I'm thinking, Eli, that every opportunity you get, whether it be, it doesn't really basically have to be a shot per se, but you just test to see what level the goalkeeper is at to see, so at least you could encourage your kickers to say, well, you know what, he's a little clumsy on the left, he's a little, on the right, you just test the goalkeeper and see what he's made of. And as the game progresses, you just never tell. There's a telling pass, a little
Offside
offside
there.
there, but not bad at all. Good movement again by BABONNEAU, not bad at all. Had the time is running, like could have been making his way into the box area. He got a card. It must have been something he said to the
Decent,
goalkeeper.
must be.
Yeah, must
Yeah.
be. Must be.
You spoke about testing the goalkeeper. I'm not one to judge, good things come in all shapes and sizes, but you probably want to test the agility of the Miku goalkeeper. If you look at his physique, it does not scream at you that he's probably the most agile keeper in the competition. I may be wrong. Like I say, you never know until he's put to the test. But with the conditions that you just made mention of, and seeing the physique of the Miku keeper, you would think that BABONNEAU would want to try their best to test that. As the ball comes across to the right flank and lofted in, keeper is quickly off his line, look comfortable there. Probably heard what I said, and in true fashion is about to demonstrate to me that he deserves to be where he is in between the sticks for Miku.
Clearly, I can see the idea of what the BABONNEAU team is trying to do in terms of going by line and cutting across. You could have put in a better cross. I think there was a player just on top of the area, rather than going to the goalkeeper or trying to put the ball in the 6 yard area. Just show a little more patience and putting that ball on top of the box, keeping possession of the football. But I can see clearly what BABONNEAU is trying to do. Meanwhile, the defense of Miku seems to be doing pretty well. I mean, no goals on either ends. So defense seems to be the order of the day so far in the first half.
Yellow card seemed to be the order of the day in the first half as well. I think that's either the third or fourth caution we've seen there. This time meted out to one of the players from BABONNEAU. We already have two players in the Miku backline being booked. So if that indeed is the fourth yellow card, both teams would have been on two bookings in this game. I believe a yellow card was meted out to a BABONNEAU player earlier, mentioning for dissent. So I think they're on even keel there in terms of bookings, but I don't think any of them have been unwarranted. Female referee in charge of the game, maybe that's her way of imposing the her strictness on the match, as opposed to maybe from a standpoint of balling down the players, which male referees might feel more comfortable doing. But it's about controlling the game.
Yeah, so far she's been doing a good job. Okay, we have a free kick, Eli. This one is a bit direct. A little way out. Might be a little difficult to get that ball, hit that ball from all the way out and get past the goalkeeper. Let us just see.
All along
There
the
you go, all
ground,
along
and
ground.
what's it?
Milk for the cat.
Milk for the
There's an upfield punt. That one asking a little too much of the attack on the right side. I think he punt this one. I love to see the goalkeepers. There's a way that you kick that football, Eli, as a goalkeeper, rather than punt the football. Don't look for too much height. I know you as a basketballer would understand what I'm saying. Rather
Mhm.
than kick the ball,
Sort of a volley
that's
type.
right. So like a half volley.
Yeah.
So you basically measure the height of the players, and that ball just travels about everybody's head. So these are little techniques that
I
goalkeepers
think
use
we've
these
seen the
days.
Denry goalkeeper employ that
That's
technique
right.
very
That's right.
well.
That's
Yeah.
right. But you have to really practice it. It's sort of like a quick counter attack. So there was a break. So if you had that pass employed, he could have gotten the defense to deal with probably 1 versus 2 or not. But he continues to kick the ball up, and it's very very difficult to control that ball when it comes from so far and it's up. So meantime, we have an attack on the left hand side for Miku number 8 trying to put his ball across. Poor control, poor first touch. Gobbled up there one time by the defense of BABONNEAU. Comes into midfield.
Nice bit of skill there to get away from the MICOUD defender.
Mm-hmm.
But Harry do very well there by the other defender of MICOUD and forcing BABONNEAU to go backwards so that they can move forward again.
And this is where you see the defender. If you see what he did, a show of arms asking who is coming to help, who is coming to receive. And as I mentioned earlier, midfielders need to show for the ball. Even the guys up top, they need to come off the defenders and show for the football rather than have the defenders carry that ball all the way up and there. Because defenders are limited. It's very tough to see a defender carry that ball all the way in, like to make that telling pass. That's where the midfielders come into play. So anytime you see a show of hands, it's basically asking, where are you guys? Where are you guys? So midfielders need to take note of that. That the central defenders do need your assistance to bring the ball out of play. We have a foul. We have a little situation where the physio came onto the field. But we are nothing to be alarmed about. It's going to get some attention, and the game is going to continue.
Yeah, it looks like probably a clash of knees or something of the sort. Looks like there in that attempted tackle. The official having a little bit of a chat with some of the MICOUD players. Explaining to them her decision. As you indicated, it looks like he will be okay. Just a little bit of shock on the knee area there, and if a little bit of time, a little bit of therapy, he should be okay to carry on in the game. Not a nice feeling, when you get bone on bone in the knee area. BABONNEAU now a man down, crossing that ball in from the right flank, goes all the way across to the left flank, and a very nice bit of skill there by the left-sided attacker by BABONNEAU, but he ran out of pitch, and the ball is into touch for a goal kick. And MICOUD get the ball rolling quickly again. They're already into the attacking half of BABONNEAU. They really transitioned quickly there, MICOUD, which might be something that they might want to try to get done more often. And the ball switched across to the left flank, but played back now. BABONNEAU sort of settling back and getting their shape again. MICOUD might be a little disappointed that they were not able to take quick advantage of that. And the ball just wastes away there into the hands of the BABONNEAU goalkeeper. So MICOUD showed some good intent by getting that ball restarted quickly, but were unable to capitalize on that, despite the fact that they actually got into the box of the BABONNEAU team, but nothing substantial coming out of that.
Yeah, the final pass was a bit poor. But now we still see the possession held by the MICOUD team. Ball comes into midfield. Again, you need to see players moving around for more support rather than stay back. I mean, if you have no work to do, you're supposed to get in and play the full passage of what is happening. I see a lot of players staying back, whereas they could join in the attack to assist. That is why you find that the attack of both teams are a little thin. So many a times you see a striker get on. Here's a good pass, interesting pass there. Let's see if we can make amends. That's a poor hit. We wouldn't want to see the replay of that. But again, like I mentioned, Eli, you need to see more total football from both teams. And if you realize, sometimes you see when the teams have built an attack, when you look in center field, you have probably like four individuals basically just there. So if you bring a full complementary of your players into your passing and your attack, you have more when it comes to the final passing. But the attack is very thin when you have players just laying back, sort of like afraid to join in. You know, it's like saying like you're a defender and you're just going to defend. You have to be. It has to be more than that. I think
Yeah,
it's the signal
yeah.
for the end of the first half. But both teams will have a lot to do. If they want to score a goal on the second half, they have to bring in a full complementary of attack rather than just rely on just say six players trying to break it down.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Well, it's halftime in this encounter. It's 0-0. So we'll go to a break right now, and we'll be back for second half action in just a bit. Of course.
Transforming St. Lucia through football innovation and excellence. The St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League provides a pathway for the professional and personal development of young footballers, leading to community enhancement across Ireland.
Great opportunity!
In 2024, 10 district leagues will compete for the Premier Cup and 9 district leagues will face off for the Super Cup. 81 games in 4 venues. Club supports your community as you witness the first ever St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League Championships. Competitive football, passionate players, and striking goals.
And it's in!
In collaboration with the government of St. Lucia and the St. Lucia Football Association, the Semi-Pro Football League is leveraging football to transform lives.
And so the referee brings the 90 minutes to an end.
on the attack, pulling the play back. As I said, both teams trying to be a little bit more incisive with their attacking play.
Good idea, good idea.
Straight back to the Marshall team who holds position. And of course, the sound of the whistle brings to play the end of the first half.
I've challenged all of the parliamentary representatives to incentivize their teams. Grosley will be getting an extra $10,000 from the Constituency Development Program in Grosley for every victory that they have. So at the end of the day, they are fully aware that besides their salary, besides the incentives from the sponsors that they have, that winning this game ensures that it's an extra $500 in each of their pockets.
I swear to do my best, to do my best. Victory, Frosty, for my company, my coach, we must win, we must win, we must win, we must win. One for all. Who are we? LA, who are we? LA, hey.
Leclerc, not what they want to be. We just mentioned in the pre-game that the only team to have beaten Leclerc since 2020 was the Grosley team. And that was Grosley already on the cards.
The Taiwanese government was gracious enough to give us $200,000 to have a skills program for these individuals that are interested in getting a CVQ in plumbing, in bartending, in a number of subject areas. So when they retire at 45 and that sort of thing, they actually have a skill to fall back on. So it's like a second opportunity beyond the CXCs that they may have missed. And through the Football League, we're able to have that as part of the program.
In the heart of every community lies a dream waiting to come true as a journey begins. We dribble through life's hurdles, breaking down its barriers, looking beyond the horizon. Lessons are learned, friendships are forged, and strength is birthed from within. Beyond tactics and goals, we strive as a team. With discipline and perseverance, we advance. Through every kick, stumble, and victory, our lives are changing, and together we rise.
It's not just a game. Football is our life.
The St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League, leveraging football to transform lives.
Feel the
Transforming St. Lucia through football innovation and excellence. The St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League provides a pathway for the professional and personal development of young footballers, leading to community enhancement across Ireland.
Great opportunity.
In 2024, 10 district leagues will compete for the Premier Cup and 9 district leagues will face off for the Super Cup. 81 games in 4 venues. Come support your community as you witness the first ever St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League Championships. Competitive football, passionate players, and striking goals.
And it's in.
In collaboration with the government of St. Lucia and the St. Lucia Football Association, the Semi-Pro Football League is leveraging football to transform lives.
And so the referee brings the 90 minutes to an end.
Again on the attack, pulling the play back. As I said, both teams trying to be a little bit more incisive with their attacking play.
Good idea, good idea.
Straight back to the Marshall team, who holds position. And of course, the sound of the whistle brings to play the end of the first half.
I've challenged all of the parliamentary representatives to incentivize their teams. Grosely will be getting an extra $10,000 from the constituency development program in Grosely for every victory that they have. So at the end of the day, they are fully aware that besides their salary, besides the incentives from the sponsors that they have, that winning this game ensures that it's an extra $500 in each of their pockets.
I swear, to do my best, to do my best, to win victory, Frosty, for my company, my coach, we must win, we must win, we must win, we must win, one for all, all for all, who are we? LA, who are we? LA, hey.
And we're back to second half action in the St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League, Tier 2, where we're witnessing MICOUD versus BABONNEAU. MICOUD in the St. Lucia flag colors, and that will make the BABONNEAU outfit in the black with the sleeve green. Score is 0-0 between the two. We've had some situations in the first half where teams could have capitalized, making half chances, but to say that we've seen some cracker chances, we still await. However, those teams are trying their best to jostle their position on the table to move on to Tier 1. It's going to be a hard task for them as anything else. We always appreciate the efforts of young teams, especially teams in transition, teams in rebuild, teams in development. MICOUD, perennial powerhouses before. BABONNEAU yet to really make a mark in terms of local football. But many have had their dreams and aspirations before. And hence the reason why we have the semi-professional league where young players can live the dreams and become what they can become and of course drive their communities to glory. Eli, it is a second half where we're expecting goals from either side. Meantime, we have a corner in favor of the MICOUD team. The teams have been drilled on what they need to do. Let us see if they can now bring it into fruition.
Well, I think what works well for both of these teams, critic, would be the prowess of both of their coaches. As we see a ball in there, dangerous ball in by MICOUD, results in a goal kick, but the ball is definitely put into a very dangerous area from that corner, as we see BABONNEAU trying to start the play quickly for ball out there by the goalkeeper. Off of the left flank and building up nicely there. Another ball in, but they lose it there, unable to make much of it. I was just saying just before that action there, the prowess of the two coaches. You have two coaches that are very well qualified, and one may be a little bit more experienced than the other. Mr. Solomon Alexander, the head coach of BABONNEAU. He's been the head coach since 2012. He's the holder of a CONCACAF B license, which is the highest coaching level that we have in St. Lucia at this current time. Only 3 people have that. But the coach of the MICOUD outfit, Alan Providence, would say to you that despite the fact that Mr. Alexander may have a higher coaching qualification, he has the more experience. He's been the national coach of the year in 2010. He's a former national senior men's coach, as well, of course, who have been the national coach of the year in 2010. He's the former national men's under 23 coach as well, and he's won the inter-district. He's won the Black Hat tournament. He was a Caribbean Cup finalist in New York City in 2012. So he's definitely been around the block and definitely boasts a little bit more experience than his counterpart Solomon Alexander. But I think they both bring, varying skill sets to their teams, who are both young teams and are looking to try to find their way in the semi-professional football league tier 2 competition.
I think what is critical there, Eli, is that of course when you speak of coaches come with their philosophy, and you need the personnel to showcase what you have planned. I know Posh pretty well. He's a planner. He's a tactician, and you could see clearly, he's probably missing this little in the ingredients here and there to sort of show what he wants to manifest with his MICOUD team. It'll take some time because they are in transition, like you mentioned, similar to Solomon as well. If you have the highest badge on the island, again, if you look at the age range of his team, you can see clearly that they're still working towards something. It's all well and good when we have all those coaches with all those accolades, but we need to see it manifested now on the pitch. And like I mentioned earlier, local teams need not to be afraid to play football or not to be afraid to lose. What I would want to see is that I want to see teams play total football. Stop hanging around at the back when you're in attack and you have 4 defenders on your half line. Take chances. Why don't you send your wing backs forward, thereby creating more impetus in attack? But to say that you're playing and you're still hanging around, sort of cautious, it doesn't show me that you did the desire to win. It's all well and good that you have the formations, but you have to use the formations at full tilt.
Yeah, and both of these teams will tell you that they've lost quite a bit of players to other district teams, and like you said, they're both in a bit of a rebuilding phase. And I guess that's sort of a coach's dream, to build a squad around the philosophy that you have, as opposed to getting players that are ready-made, who have probably been around, have experience, have the quality and skill set, and instead now you're trying to get them to gel and adopt and accept a philosophy that they may not be used to, they may not have had success in, during their time. So I think from a coaching standpoint, both of them would be relatively pleased. They may not necessarily be getting the results that they want at this point in time, but just strictly from a coaching standpoint, as we see that ball played in down the right flank for Miku, and the goalkeeper just letting it run out. But from a standpoint of coaching, that's almost every coach's dream, you know, to have a team of players that are not necessarily experienced but hungry, want to learn, and you know, you can feed them that philosophy and get them to buy into that philosophy and build your team around them.
No, right now on my end, I would prefer to have a team mixed. You have some youngsters and you have some more experienced players, so you get a balance. You know, rather than, you know, I understand the process. Of course, you want youngsters to be involved. However, in my era, the youngsters have to earn their spot. So many a times we speak of, you know, we're giving the youth a chance, which I understand, but the youth in themselves needs to come in and show us that, you know, you're up to that standard and you want to fight your way in to make that squad or to make that first 11. That is what I would. That would be my drive. A balance of senior players with young players, and then we have a go at it. Meantime, it is a throw in for the MICOUD team on the right side. Seems to be a long throw. Let us see if we can have somebody on the front stick and see if we can get a flick on and create a goal situation. Again,
Definitely a long build-up to the throw.
yes, the long build-up, but again, the problem with that throw, Eli, there was too much air on it. So you realize it got into the area, but when it got there, it was already dead in motion. So again, these are little techniques that players need to bring into the game. It's a corner. It seems to be a in-swinger. Ball comes across, not beating the front stick. Goalkeeper collects easy, like I would say, milk for the cat. So let us see if they can mount a counter-attack based on the recovery. However, tactics being employed, the goalkeeper electing to go short, and they're going to play from the back. Let us see if the BABONNEAU team can make some inroads. I've always been impressed with this young player. He's the number 19 for BABONNEAU. The name eludes me right now, but he seems to be the one connecting those passes in the final third of the field. And if he can get a really good passing situation, he can create a situation for BABONNEAU. I've always been impressed with him since when I saw him at the Midfield Park versus the Marshall team. So he seems to be the one that's trying to create a glue situation to force the attack their way in terms of BABONNEAU. Meantime, a good interception there. Ball is recovered. A pass to the left side there for MICOUD. MICOUD still trying to create some foray in attack. Ball still stuck in midfield. A bit of a little hustling there by the player from BABONNEAU. Ball comes up field recovery there for BABONNEAU. Trying a crossfield pass.
I felt that was a little too much. I think there could have been a shorter pass was on to the other midfielder. There was an opportunity to play the centre forward into a channel. He opted not to do that. He passed up an opportunity to play a short 10-15 yard pass into his midfield counterpart and opted to try to make a long raking pass out to the right field, which was eventually shut down. So the BABONNEAU team needs to be a little bit more decisive when they're on the ball, not taking so much time to move the ball around, because that only serves to allow MICOUD to fall back into their shape and defend better.
what you'd want, Eli, is that players around the number 19 who had the situation, what they should have done was to give some instructions. And it's good that you mentioned that you should pass that ball a little faster. It's because you could see clearly the defense of the MICOUD team, they were already going back into a certain mold. But instructions need to come around. Your teammates need to encourage you and say, you know what? 1-2, you know, you throw out instructions, or you come on. This is where the communication factor comes in, because clearly he just kept the ball and tried to create on his own. Whereas if you had kept that ball ticking,
too long.
Yeah, keep that ball ticking, they could have created a situation. That's why I would always tell you, I like the measure of teams who have a balance of senior and young players. So if you had a senior person in the mix there, you would have heard the instructions being belted out, rather than allowing that youngster to take it on his own and do something that came out with nothing.
Well, I'm always of the opinion, if you're going to hold on to the ball, at least you could carry the ball and bring it forward. He was doing neither.
But you see, if you look at football, if you look at modern day football, Eli, the people who really hold on to the football are the number 10s. And slowly these days, the number 10s is being phased out in football. Because football now is a quick 1-2 pass, and you continue. There's no longer one person holding on to that football and drawing attention, because the game is basically, and you know, Eli, the game is basically angles. When you hold on to the football, there's no movement, there's nothing really happening. Meantime, you see a searching ball on the right side to MICOUD. He takes on his man, still having possession. However, the ball goes out of touch. Good recovery there, good interception there by the BABONNEAU team. I think we're going to have our first substitution, Eli. The ball is up, where we'll see number 9 from BABONNEAU going out, and then the inclusion of number 20.
Hobbling off number 9 for BABONNEAU.
Yes. So change there, probably forced change because of an injury. Yeah, so we continue. We continue with our on-field situation. It's a throw in for MICOUD. Earlier on, he tried to employ the long throw. Let us see if he'll do similar. I think he's going to do similar. It's a similar situation.
He'll try to employ the long throw.
Let's see. Let us see if he's going to be effective this time around.
A little better.
There you go. And you can see more pace on this one.
Yeah. Flatter trajectory as well. You know. Again, BABONNEAU just not making up their mind quick enough. A couple of options were on for the number 10 of BABONNEAU right there. He could have played in either flank, but took that extra touch, and then they're under pressure again because MICOUD have retrieved possession of the ball. And as I say that, it looks like I'm the commentator's cursing you.
Whichever way it is, we still now in the second half, the MICOUD team having more possession in this encounter. Again, it could have been instructions that the Posh may have drilled into them to hold on to the football in the second half and try to make some foray in attack. Here's a long searching pass on the right side. That's going to be gobbled up by the goalkeeper, and that will give the ball back into possession to the.
From the first half, MICOUD has sort of continued making inroads on the right flank, Critic. They've been able to get in behind the left back of BABONNEAU. They've not been able to make anything of it thus far. But easily 4 or 5 times we've seen throughout the 60 minutes of play, you know, them getting in behind that left back of BABONNEAU. But they are yet to make anything out of it.
Yeah, it's certainly you can see that there's a plan of theirs, but again, they need to make something out of it. You need to be able to get past your man, which they have been doing, but putting a telling cross where somebody can slot home or have an effort and goal. There's a through pass for the attacker.
Right there in the channel.
He continues. Good feinting, good skill, being able to keep the football. As he plays it into midfield, a little pass onto the left side. He should be able to take on his man. It's a natural left footer. Ball comes across. Eli, a little too much pushes on this one. However, good control. First touch eluded him to a certain extent.
And MICOUD's on the break now. They have numbers if they can make use of it.
He continues.
And he just dribbles right through.
Now it's for the last pass. Good defending.
A selling touch by the defender from BABONNEAU. If that ball had gotten through, you would have had ample enough time to decide what he wanted to do and where to place that ball.
So now we can see a situation where we just had a passage of play where the game basically opened up. Both teams get into situations where they could have, hit home. And meantime, we see Miku see a strike from outside. That would be a poor effort. Very, very, very poor effort. Again, to Eli, players need to assess their situations, where you are on the pitch, what is available, should I shoot, should I pass. He chose the option of shooting. And again, I don't think he wanted to see the replay of this one.
Well, we've seen a couple of long efforts from the MICOUD team in particular, which have gone a begging. They definitely don't have their boots from range on in this game. And that's a nice turn there by the forward from a good recovery by the defender from BABONNEAU. MICOUD has come out in this second half and really been probing. They've gotten into the box a couple of times. Well, I guess we've sort of seen something slightly similar from BABONNEAU, but MICOUD has definitely shown a little bit more intent, if you ask me, in terms of their forays into the BABONNEAU area. So it looks like the feeling out phase of this match has gone, and we're seeing them throwing some heavy punches.
Yeah, it's a situation where MICOUD knowing their situation on the table, Eli, they want to at least nick something from this. They take something from this game. Meantime, we have a medical break or injury break to a certain extent. Player getting a little attention right there. However, it seems to be okay. We'll have a corner now in favor of MICOUD. Looks like it's going to be a in-swinger. You could see the setup already. You could see clearly they're looking to have a presence in the mid area, just about the penalty spot. So it could be that they're aiming for that spot and trying to get something out of it. There's just one player on the front stick.
Looks like a substitution being made there is it? Or was it he went to the sideline to get some instruction?
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, Critic, almost all of the BABONNEAU players are in the 18-yard box. You know, you normally see maybe at least one player a little higher up just to keep the attacking players a little bit honest.
Yeah, because if you win that ball, you want an outball. That's right. You want an outball for sure. So
now all of them are in the 18-yard box.
So they don't want to concede. So again, this is just another tactic showing that, Solomon, like you mentioned, highest badge on the island, coaching badge. So not taking any chances with this one, not wanting to give a situation where he's going to be pegged back. So basically asking his players to form that defensive line, so 2 or 3 in that free kick and see what comes out of it.
I actually think that's a little bit dangerous.
It is.
Because if the second ball drops, there's no BABONNEAU player to really, clear that ball out. So I always think it's always good to have 1, maybe 2, depending on the construct of your team. That you can keep them honest, because that will now allow MICOUD to play as high as they would like.
Very much so.
Without fear of counter-attack.
Yeah. So basically what you want now is that free kick to be, that corner kick to be perfectly executed. Whichever player that gets a situation needs to make it count.
Okay, a substitution is being made. It looks like a double substitution for MICOUD.
Is it the skipper coming out? Is it? No. Okay, we could see 2 changes being made by the MICOUD team. Again, some fresh legs needed now, Eli. Again, they too will be coming in with instructions as well. So let us see what they can stamp their authority on that game or make a difference, make a change in that game. Because again, the points are needed. And if any one team needs points for this campaign, it would be MICOUD. They have already been pegged back on some situations. Can the substitutes make a difference in this encounter? We see some movement in the area. Like I mentioned, that kick has to basically be perfect for MICOUD to get something from it.
Okay, finally the action is back underway. That in-swinging cross put into a relatively decent area. The player for MICOUD attacking the ball could not get the correct purchase or the right purchase on it for it to be dangerous enough. That ball just kind of lofted into the air and easily gobbled up by the BABONNEAU keeper. But just as we were mentioning, BABONNEAU, unable to get out. As soon as that ball was cleared, MICOUD was back on it, and they have now lost the ball through their own efforts.
Yeah,
but you could clearly see that even though that ball was cleared out by BABONNEAU, they were back under pressure immediately.
Yeah, it's a situation where you could see that the nerves are certainly there. BABONNEAU playing a little bit nervous. Now they're a little settled down. Now they keeping that ball again loosely, putting that ball into the area, Eli. Look at how many players he has around him. He has options to keep the football. But however, looking for cross
60-yard diagonal.
which is not going to work. I know players need to keep it simple. Keep it simple. I think he's offside.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's see what comes out of it.
Well, the flag stayed down.
Flag stayed down. Interestingly. Again,
From our angle, there,
it seems to be outside to me, however. But the player took a strike and go. He won't be disappointed. He should probably make the goalkeeper at least put in a save. I mean, if you're in the 6-yard area, you want to put in the laces onto this one and have the goalkeeper save that one. But interesting enough, I really thought he was offside. Attack continues. The build-up continues with MICOUD.
Nice bit of skill there, nutmeg. And in behind,
not
the
bad
ball
at all.
rolls out of play. But you see the intent there of MICOUD. I know we just saw a shot in anger from a BABONNEAU player, but MICOUD seems to be showing a little bit more intent in the second half. 23 minutes into the second half, and in my opinion, they've kind of been showing a little bit more impetus. As a matter of fact, we saw in that corner, defending that corner, all of the BABONNEAU players in their box, and that told the whole story right there.
Yeah, so basically they may have had instructions that if we can't win, we won't lose and settle for a draw. Because clearly, to have everybody already, and it's not even at least the 75th minute mark or the 80th minute mark, and you're already employing defensive abilities or defensive tactics, says a lot. But meantime, we will see what the MICOUD team is made of. They have situations where, again, free kicks here and there. And these are situations in football, Eli, that you have to make them count. When you keep on getting that ball in this little area, you take a chance. You send up a central defender, somebody with a little more presence, rather than have the striker deal with it. And I just said it, and here you see a situation where one of the defenders who is very good aerial is going to go up and see if he can get a chance.
But this time around, we see one of the strikers for BABONNEAU trying to occupy the two central defenders for MICOUD, which we didn't see a while ago. So maybe Solomon Alexander taking note of that. And again, MICOUD coming around the right flank. They seem to be having some joy on that right side. That left fullback of BABONNEAU seems to be having a torrid time. With anybody who's on the right flank, it's because that's not the traditional right winger for MICOUD that just tried to put that cross in. He just happened to be in that position after the free kick was taken. But that definitely seems to be an area of concern for BABONNEAU, because MICOUD seems to be getting quite a bit of joy down their right flank.
The ball is still within the area after the corner kick. And now let's see.
You see that critic, you see that outlet, occupying the two central defenders we said a while ago, and they were able to use him as an outlet.
It's a foul situation, as a matter of fact. Again,
produce a yellow card? Yes, of course.
Yes, that would
rightfully so. He looked like he would have been off to the races.
Oh yes, he was already in motion, or like they say, he was on his bike. But the defender wouldn't take any chance and just put him down immediately. So now we have a free kick situation for BABONNEAU. And let's see what they're going to make it for. Are they going to choose to go long or just keep possession of the football?
of course, in the just about 2 weeks' time, the Soufrière Mini Stadium will be the location of Soufrière Jazz, which has really become a staple on the St. Lucia Jazz calendar. And I believe the headliner for this year's event is Taurus Riley. You know, so I expect the stadium to be filled to its capacity. People do, you know, these days, when it comes to Soufrière Jazz, it's sort of an event by itself. You know, people will rent out rooms for the weekend and really come over and stay in Soufrière, you know, for the weekend. And that activity is just about 2 weeks away now. I think it's the should be on the 3rd of May, there and thereabout, or the 3rd or the 4th of May, you know, somewhere around there. I don't have the exact date in mind, but definitely people from Soufrière and environs, and as a matter of fact, all over the island, you know, look forward to
coming down.
the Soufrière Jazz event.
Well, if you want to see more, probably a precursor to the jazz event, Soufrière will play next. Let's see if they can jazz their way in the encounter as well. Let's see if they can have some rhythm and blues.
Well,
with their versus Roselle.
they have a little bit to live up to, because if we have to go by anything, I recall the sports minister Kenton Casimir saying that in his opinion that Soufrière and Grosile were the two teams to beat in Tier 1. So far, Soufrière have been won one game and drawn or lost the other. As a matter of fact, they lost to Canaries in their opening encounter. So they're on 3 points, and they're sitting in the middle of the Tier 1 table. So Choiseul would have been sitting just below them on 2 points with 2 draws.
Here's a breakthrough, Eli, just to cut you. Here's a situation.
Oh.
Good foot save there by the goalkeeper of the MICOUD team, but again, the cutback being employed and the keeper coming up trumps.
Definitely showing a little bit of agility there, and reaction of not just foot but thought, because that ball looked like it was destined for the back of the net. As a matter of fact, BABONNEAU might be looking at that as a chance missed, as opposed to a good save by the keeper from MICOUD.
Yeah, I think that ball was clearly destined for the back of the net, but however, these days you have to be more than a goalkeeper, and clearly his agility showed and putting in that foot save. But of course, BABONNEAU would have been disappointed, knowing fully well that they sort of clear-cut opportunity that they didn't make amends or they didn't carry it through. So they continue with the attack. Ball on the left side into play by them. Good one-touch football. However, a little too much purchase on this one, and the ball is a throw in for the MICOUD team. But with good passage of football there, Eli, good exchange, ball cutting back in the 6-yard area. And we spoke of the goalkeeper for MICOUD, and he showed us his worth.
Yeah, a little earlier on I was talking about the right side of MICOUD experiencing some joy against the left side of BABONNEAU. This time it was the right side of BABONNEAU experiencing some joy against the left side of MICOUD. And I would venture to say that they've probably carved out the best chance we've seen of the game thus far. That should have gone into the back of the net. But, you know, you deal with what's put in front of you, and the ball not hit to either side really of the MICOUD custodian, and he was able to stick out a leg and deny the first goal of this encounter.
That was a big save, Eli, big save. So any doubts we had of the custodian in goal for MICOUD, I think he has made amends and showed us his worth, because I thought clearly that would have been to the back of the net, but good save there by MICOUD. That would certainly throw some impetus into the encounter. We have a free kick in favor of MICOUD, and let us see where we're going to put in this one. Should come in to the mid area. Let us see if somebody can get the head on this one and get it past. But so far, the two teams are showing their prowess in the second half to at least get on the score sheet. Ball comes in. Oh my goodness. Not bad at all. Whilst everybody figured out that it would have been a situation that they would get a header, he tried an audacious shot. And not bad at all. Just keeping the goalkeeper on his toes to be aware of what can entail. Meantime, possession remains with the BABONNEAU team. Of course, if you just join us on our stream, BABONNEAU is 0. MICOUD is 0 as well. So it's 0-all between the two. And the MICOUD is playing in the blue and yellow outfit. And that would make BABONNEAU in the black and green. The green, of course, on the sleeve of the kit. And chances are starting to happen. We're starting to see some cracks in defense. And we're trying to see where some attackers now are putting a little more effort to have some shots on target.
Interesting combination of colors from the BABONNEAU outfit, though. A black uniform with a green strip on the sleeves and blue socks.
I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out like the layout of BABONNEAU. I know there's bananas. Maybe the green is for bananas. The black is for, of course, our complexion. And the blue, Eli, I would think that, you know, the sun rises on the east, correct? And BABONNEAU has a bit of east in them, so the blue represents the horizon from the sea or something of the sort. That's what I could think of. Somebody out there.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Somebody out there may know it or tell us or post it on our Facebook page, but that's as much as I could muster up. Meanwhile, a little tussle between the two, the official again taking control and ensuring that the players keep calm. I don't think we have any incidents, Eli, where, you know, the referee really had to stamp her authority. I think she's doing a very decent job.
Yes.
And it's a free kick in favor of MICOUD. A little distance, a little way out.
I think in total we've seen about 5 cautions meted out, but none of them have really been for dangerous play or anything of the sort. It has more or less been scenarios where people were fouled in scenarios where they were in an advantageous position.
Has the back heel there? Interesting pass the Eli defender coming up trumps in this one, intercepting, but very, very innovative and just showing some guile there by MICOUD, sort of like a back heel pass, but the defense of BABONNEAU was able to defuse the situation immediately. And they keep possession, a searching pass. It's very difficult to have a one attacker take on 4 defenders. Again, a wayward pass. I don't think they were on the same connection line.
At all.
I think the Wi-Fi may have dropped between the two. A little too much into this one.
Getting a little feisty.
Yeah,
I think the official missed that because the defender from MICOUD, after the play, he kind of felt that the BABONNEAU attacker came in a little too hard on him, and he sort of kicked out at him, not making any sort of meaningful connection, but if the official had seen that, might have
in a card situation.
He may have seen an orange card somewhere in the middle of red and yellow. I don't know.
And we have a substitution being made where number 12 for MICOUD is coming off. I think he has run his race. So Posh Eli want to bring in some fresh legs up front. Let's see if he's going to be a natural replacement. It's going to be a striker for striker situation. No, I see instructions being given out when number 7 may be deployed more central and the player coming in will move on to the right side. So Posh there trying to tweak his substitutions and trying to throw off the defense of BABONNEAU. Let's see if they can spot it like how I spotted it. But meantime, MICOUD continues with their possession. The right back looks upfield, places one into midfield. A little pot touch there. The ball comes in for BABONNEAU.
We're now into the 80th minute of play. And you sort of seen a little bit more urgency in both teams. In some instances, a little too much urgency, you know, and not exhibiting the patience that they may need to make inroads in the matchup, looking to probably hit that telling pass and try to get in behind or through the channels between the fullbacks and the central defenders. As we see again, MICOUD enjoying a little bit of joy down the right hand flank.
That's the area.
And there again, another ball comes across. Nobody really in the area. But time and time again, we've seen MICOUD being able to get balls across from that right flank. And BABONNEAU definitely, particularly now as we are getting down into the last 10 odd minutes of this game, we want to make sure that they get a handle on that, because the worst thing that can happen to you is towards the back end of a 0-0, a team scoring a goal and all of a sudden changing the complexion of the game.
Because, I mean, you work hard for the encounter. You don't want to fall short towards the end. So, again, I can see now instructions are being given out to the BABONNEAU team to keep their shape defensively to avoid such situation. Because they work hard. They work hard for the encounter. Yes, they haven't scored, but again, you want to come away with something. There's always positives that you can take from various encounters. You may not win the game, but at least if you can get a point, it can show some measure of success to a certain extent in such. So let's see what MICOUD can muster up. Meanwhile, let's see if BABONNEAU can keep their shape. Ball comes in, a little too much on this one.
Well, BABONNEAU sitting on 3 points and MICOUD sitting on 1. 2 points separating the two teams. If they get a draw, it'll still be the same. 2 points separating both teams. A win for MICOUD would mean that they jump ahead of BABONNEAU, and a win for BABONNEAU would mean that they're no longer in touching distance when it comes to MICOUD. So at this point in time, you know, that kind of underscores your position. But after 83 minutes of play, you really don't want to be the one to concede at this point in time, because it really will change the complexion of the table and the fortunes of your team. As we see again, MICOUD an errant pass there, but finding a little space on the right hand side of the attack, you know, the left side of the BABONNEAU defense.
Now that pass been a little better, it could have come out. But again, MICOUD trying to 1 touch and 2 touch in the area. Ball comes across. Nobody is there. The goalkeeper should pick up this one. No, it goes out of touch. So now we're going to see possession in favor of MICOUD. Clearly, the right side seems to be the area where they are trying to put in some passes or some crosses. Let's see if they can put in this one. They keep possession. A little loose pass right there. Good recovery. I can tell you, like, MICOUD really has a very young team, you know, Eli. If you look at the size and the stature of some of those players from MICOUD, they seem very, very, very young.
Well, speaking to Alan Providence, he did mention that although they do have a couple of senior players in the mix, MICOUD, but as it stands, the majority of the players
like youngsters,
are youngsters on the field for them right now.
The situation, goalkeeper gobbles this one up for a long punt and just basically hands the ball back to MICOUD.
MICOUD would be featuring 3 players, at least 3 players, 30 years or older. We mentioned the captain, who is Barry Justin, 36 years old. But the vice captain, who is Michael Descartes, is 33 years old. He's a midfielder. And Leonard Casimir, 30 years old, in the fullback position. So a little bit of a mix, but as it put in, BABONNEAU now on the right flank, he needs to get that ball in, and it's just not a telling enough ball across. He had the whole world in terms of time, but not able to get that ball across at all.
I think it was the wrong technique as well. I think he probably had to get under this one to have his teammates on the inside of the box, a situation where they could lash on to something. But again, the wrong part of the foot being used and not able to execute. But again, so see some players starting to tire, Eli, on both teams.
You know, which is the norm from what we've seen from the SPFL thus far. We are now into the 86th minute. You know, so the substitutions that have been made by both sides would suggest to you that the coaches are looking to get a little fresher legs on there. Both of them in the final throws are really trying to get a grip on the game. You would think that if anybody can score a goal right now, it would be the match winner.
Most definitely, Eli. But we must applaud the players for putting in the effort. They're still at it. How crucial will a goal be now? Just knowing, like you mentioned, we're in the 86th minute and somebody will be going home crying. But football, that is football for you. That is why it is the most popular sport in the world, especially in St. Lucia. It is. Teams are still trying and see how best they could put some tears in one of their eyes, but it's going to be difficult. Based upon what I'm seeing here, I think it's going to be difficult for one of those teams to score, just because of the layout and how they approach that game. It's sort of a little bit too cautious to a certain extent.
I agree with you there. I think both teams, particularly now, we did see MICOUD probing a little bit for, I would probably say the first 35 odd minutes of the second half. But the last few minutes, they've sort of been a little bit more conservative. I see another cross coming in from the right-hand flank of MICOUD. We've been saying this for the entire evening.
All night.
You know, and BABONNEAU seemed to not be able to deal with that at all. Another cross coming in from the right-hand flank of MICOUD. They've not been able to take advantage of that scenario at all, which is unfortunate. I say unfortunate from the standpoint of, you know, watching a game, you want to see some sort of goal being scored. You know, that's always good for neutrals. MICOUD trying to be intricate with the passing, then the attacking third. There's a foul blown
Just
there
on
by
top
the
of the
official.
area. That one should be very interesting.
That might be a fantastic opportunity for MICOUD there, particularly in the waning moments of this encounter.
Now the issue with having that ball placed just in the area is you have to get it now up and under. So that's a special technique. Let's see what they're going to deploy, what tactic they're going to use. But you need that ball now, Eli, to...
Sometimes the ball can be too close to the box.
There you go. So you need that ball now to get past the wall, but with enough pace as well and precision to get past the goalkeeper.
They would have probably wanted it to be 5 yards back.
Just a little way back.
A little way back.
Yeah.
Perfect range. But this will require a little bit of skill or a little bit of guile. Sometimes we see attacking players try to fit themselves in the wall of the defense.
There you go.
You know, to try and force some sort of opening in the wall. We've not really seen any of the teams in the SPFL employ that.
Correct.
Yeah,
also, we also see sometimes too on the defensive end where someone lies behind the wall.
Yes.
This is one that we have not seen as well in the semi-pro league. This one could work. Let us see, Eli. Ah, come on. You should have done better with this one, man. You spend all week or, you know, the better part of training trying to work on those set plays and you get the opportunity. This is the time you have to execute.
I remember my days playing football on the Marshall Field, and if you would have executed something of that nature, you know, guys would be quick to, you know, throw a jab at you and say your standards are too high.
Very high. Very high, very high. Here's a searching pass towards the left side of attack for MICOUD. Good control by the youngster. Takes on his man. However, he lost out. The defender doing pretty well. Just staying strong, staying on his feet. However, the ball remains.
There's the long shot from distance.
Not bad at all, Eli. Not bad at all. But we still see MICOUD trying to change the complexion of the result. You know, you're having some shots from way out and just trying to see if they can, you know, grab on to 3 points.
BABONNEAU now looking like they want to be on the counter. I think that was probably the wrong pass. Maybe he should have just played that ball along for the number 8. You can see him remonstrating there because he kind of felt that he would have been in.
That's right.
If he had gotten that ball along the ground there. But again, you see teams, I guess they're a little bit frantic now as we move into additional time, a little bit frantic, and everybody's probably trying to make that Hollywood pass, you know, to see if they can get on the score sheet.
We saw some substitutions being late, some subs being thrown on. Eli again too. We mentioned earlier because of the tire legs, you need some fresh legs in attack. And I think one of the players who came in for MICOUD have been trying some strikes from outside, and you could see the coaches encouraging MICOUD to shoot. Here's another situation from way out. But again, that's going to be very, very difficult. You like to shoot from all the way out there. You really have to hit that ball perfectly. Everything have to work for you. To ensure that you could score a goal at such a late stage in the encounter.
It's a lot of grasping at straws, if you ask me, because not any sort of you talk about half chances and clear-cut opportunities. I don't think they fall into any of those categories.
They're shooting for shooting sake. Yeah. Sort of like a Hail Mary. One time position for MICOUD. Loose pass there as an attack where you're going to see a 2-on-2 situation. Through ball to the BABONNEAU team. Recovery. Ball comes across.
Really poor attempt to get the ball. Talk about agility. We just saw some entertaining antics there from the MICOUD goalkeeper. What is that, a cartwheel? Or was that he did there?
Interesting enough. It's a situation, Eli, the goalkeeper, off his line already. You know, these days you have to be like a goalkeeper sweeper to a certain extent. Quickly off his line to defuse the situation. Poor pass there, just giving the ball away to MICOUD. Here's the situation, Eli.
Offside there.
He could have carried through. Again, instructions from his teammates to tell him, carry on, push through. I didn't see any indication of that.
I think he just rushed it. I think he was trying to make up for not playing him in a while ago and trying to go across field, but this time he was in an offside position. We're into the 90th minute plus 3 minutes of added on time. Right now, and this game looks like it's headed for a tame draw. However, another free kick by MICOUD. They've won quite a few free kicks in the attacking third, not being able to make anything of it. Another ball is going to be played in from the right flank. They've had several opportunities to do so. We see the card being shown there.
I would want late in the encounter, I would have the right back from MICOUD. I would have him go into the box area and see if he could get some purchase onto this one here.
Not seen too clearly. There was that a second yellow card offense, or what just happened there? The goalkeeper, it seems like the central defender for BABONNEAU got into the referee's notebook there late on in the encounter.
Might be something he said.
Nonetheless, another ball going to come in from the right flank. You think it's probably going to be now or never for MICOUD. Good ball in. That ball just pinballed in there. Oh, nice bit of skill there. But he doesn't put the ball in though. And that would have just petered away now. Lost the possession there.
But MICOUD still showing the intensity.
That's the final whistle there. And 0-0 in this encounter. So listen, we normally have to pick a man of the match. It's a difficult ask for the two of us.
I think it is. I don't think any player really stood out in this situation. If anything, Eli, you probably have to go to the goalkeeper for the MICOUD team. Remember that telling save he made with his feet?
Yes.
So the goalkeeper for the MICOUD team would have to be our man of the match.
I was actually, I was tempted to give it to the referee. The referee seems to be the more outstanding player. But we've come to the end of this encounter. It's 0-0 at the Sufra Mini Stadium on this opening fixture on a Saturday. It's MICOUD 0, BABONNEAU 0. Again on the attack, pulling the play back. As I said, both teams trying to be a little bit more incisive with their attacking play.
Good idea, good idea.
Straight back to the Marshall team, who holds position. And of course, the sound of the whistle brings to play the end of the first half.
I've challenged all of the parliamentary representatives to incentivize their